if you know what service you are providing and you know who your ideal client is, you know how much you want to charge, and you've done, or you think you've done, your research, then you're probably ready to start taking on clients. However, before you do that, I want you to make sure you're watching this video all the way to the end, because I'm going to be sharing with you the mistakes and things that you need to watch out for when signing your first client. Make sure you stick around all the way to the end so that you do not miss out on a thing. Hi, I'm Phebi, and on this channel, we talk all things freelancing and personal growth. So if that's something that you are interested in, make sure you stick around, you subscribe, you get your tea and everything, and relax, because here I give you all my lessons that I've learned when it comes to freelancing. So make sure you hit that subscribe button and also hit the notification bell to get notified anytime I upload a video. So in today's video, I'm going to share my lessons on the mistakes I made when I landed my first client. My first client was very exciting. I was happy that I landed my first client. I was super excited. I remember sitting at home and getting a notification that a client had paid for my service. It was so easy. I made sure that I streamlined my services, making sure that I had all the systems in place. So all someone had to do was click on the button, read about the services, and literally pay for it. I was set up. But now that I actually look back and I reflect on, my journey and the past, I made a huge mistake when it comes to valuing my skills and also pricing my services. You see, the thing is, I thought that everybody was good at using computers or using tech. I didn't realize that people are just tech phobic, or people didn't really have the skills that I have back then. The thing is, I thought I did the research. I Googled things a lot. I just did research online. But what I didn't do was speak to people about what issues they had. So a lot of my research was based on, I guess, what the internet said was going on. But I didn't really speak to people face to face before I actually, put my service together and start to offer it. So I was also having doubts about the value of my service because, again, yes, I knew it was needed, but I didn't know how much people would be willing to pay. So I kind of gauged how much people would pay for my services, but then I went way under that because I said, you know what, I'm starting out and I don't know if I can actually deliver what they wanted. And I could, because I had done it for myself. So that was the first mistake that I made, was actually devaluing my skills and not pricing it as I should. You see, I was also over delivering. The client was asking for more and more. We was having lots and lots of meetings. And also that meant I was doing more work for just a tiny amount of money. And that made me start to really regret that I took on this client, made me think, is this worth it? Why am I doing so much work for such little money, right? So a mistake in that is also I didn't set boundaries as to what I was going to deliver. I just said, I will build your system for you and for this amount of money, which meant that the client was open. It was an open door for clients to just say what it is they want and for me to do it, make sure that they were happy. My thing was they paid me money and I have to deliver what it is they wanted. That really took me out in terms of going to bed late because I was working on a client project and all sorts. I learned that when you're not clear in the service that you are providing to say what exactly they are getting, then it becomes difficult to establish your worth with future clients, and that is super important. However, what I did do right was having systems in place. This meant that it was easy for the client to work with me, know what I offered, and it was a streamlined process, a very smooth process. That was probably one of the things, or the only things, that I probably feel like I did right when it comes to delivering my service. There was always good communication. They always knew what was next within the process, and because that was a big thing for me. I never wanted to sign on a client and they didn't know what was happening next. So if something like that happens, it really throws me off. So I always wanted to make sure that client communication was important. And that is part of the service that I am delivering, is helping my clients to build out systems for their business so that they too are having effective communication with their own clients as well. So my system had to look good if I'm delivering that kind of service. So that was very important for me, and that's something that I did do right. I feel like if I didn't have that process in place, I'll probably be panicking about client payment and just communication as well, really. Client payment and communication, I'll definitely be, overwhelmed with the whole process as well, and probably forgetting to do things. So it was really good that, I had systems in place. So my key takeaways from landing my first client is making sure that you do your research. Research is super important. Now, I don't just mean Google research. I mean actually speaking to people. Find people online and ask them, would you be willing to do a quick interview with me? And you're going to ask them questions about what it is they would want from you. You tell them what you do and what kind of problem you're solving for them. So you're going to find your ideal client. And when you find these people, just ask them, can they come on an interview with you? And you should also provide something back. So one of the things that I did was offer a trial service for maybe 2 hours or something like that. And that really helped build relationships and also for me to get referrals, because they had a snippet of my service and I was able to gain more information about what they need as business owners and be able to form or create a service or product or offer based on the research that I did by actually speaking to people. And you want to speak to as much people as you can. Keep a limit on it in terms of time, because you don't want to be doing this forever. You could revisit this in the future, but it's very important to just use a period of time, maybe a week or two, to conduct this research, analyze the information, and then use that information to develop your service or your product or offer. So that is something that you definitely need to do. The next thing is, by doing that research, you're going to also understand how much people are actually willing to pay for your services. And then I would say increase it a little bit. The reason being is because when you do this interview, when you do this research interview, you're going to understand what their pain points are and really dig deep into all of those things. And then you understand how much will your ideal client pay to solve these problems. Now, my first client was ecstatic working with me. Why? Because I was solving a real problem that she had. When you do your research, you're going to understand how much of a pain it is to them and make sure that, the service that you are providing is priced properly. So that's really important. Tip: if you are just starting out, don't undervalue yourself. Look at industry pricing and know that your skills are actually worth more than you might actually think. You have to charge what you're worth and also to gain the respect of your clients. If you think about it, especially when it comes to buyer psychology, the more people pay, the more they value it and the more they would respect you. And I've experienced this within my business as well. So I definitely make sure that I now price my services properly. And one of the key things when it comes to pricing, it sets the tone for what kind of service you are going to offer. And it also builds your confidence as well to ask for more. And also it helps with making you feel like you are not doing so much work for such little money and then despising the client or your business as well. So you just really want to make sure that you charge, what you are worth. The next thing that I definitely learned setting boundaries and managing expectations. Oh, I cannot tell you, this is everything. And I always advise people to make sure that they too are setting boundaries and managing expectations. So when you take on new clients, you onboard them, you have these conversations with them, you send them documents that they need to sign, you have your terms, because all of this will help save you so much headache later. When they know exactly what to expect in the beginning, it makes the relationship so much easier. Always be upfront and straightforward. That's important. You need to tell them what's included in your services and what's not included in your services. When you don't define your boundaries, it's easy for clients to take advantage of your time and your expertise. So don't be afraid to say no to clients when they start asking for more. Always refer back to the proposal that you've sent or maybe your terms as well. This will save you a lot of frustration later on. And my last takeaway is that the right clients are always willing to pay for expertise. They will also respect your time and also respect your craft, because at the end of the day, what you do, the skills that you have, is also part of your creation. If you start to undercharge clients, these people are most likely to take advantage of you, try and squeeze you out, and they're probably not even serious about working with you anyway. They very much devalue your service. It helps to attract clients who are ready to invest for your services. Charge what you are worth and you will find clients who value your work. So if you are just starting out and you are ready to dive in, you're ready to take clients, I hope you actually take this on board and learn from these lessons. Let me know your thoughts below. And also, have you ever experienced something similar? If you have already signed your first client, what are your experiences? What are the things that you've actually learnt when it came to landing your first client and started working with them? And as always, if you found this video super helpful, then make sure you click the like button, subscribe, and hit the notification bell to get notified. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye for now.